Okay, let's start off here on the daily. We're on EU, we have EU on the top, DXY on the bottom. Now, what's this daily chart showing us? Yesterday we closed out as another bullish day, bullish doji, right? We closed out well above this previous weekly high. So we're continuing our bullish streak and momentum. It was a nice closeout. Today is the NFP, it's now the 1st of November though, so be cautious. I won't be trading the New York session most likely, just because of how price moves before those news announcements. So far today we are bearish. We've started off bearish. I think we may have just taken the previous daily high and it's starting to move bearish. So we'll see that better on the lower time frame. Of course, DXY is bullish at the moment. So possibly we're making our way down to a discount of somewhere within this price action. We even have a daily imbalance below here. Not sure if we're going to go quite that far. May just be an internal structural low or support we're heading towards. So I think let's go down to the 4 hour and see what that looks like. So I think the 4 hour structure shows us that we are possibly within a bullish trend. We saved these lows here, had that SMC divergence, and then since then we've been bullish, making high highs above these previous highs. We have yesterday come into another 4 hour order block POI, which was left behind, and we've been holding that there as some resistance. And as I said, we swept some buy side liquidity where there is some SMC divergence this morning, and we're having some bearish momentum from there. So on the 4 hour, the POIs in these legs look all mitigated, like I don't see any imbalances and order blocks for us to hold as support. So maybe we'll see something there on the hourly, right? But we have resistance at the moment, buy side liquidity with SMC divergence indicating weakness, SMC divergence obviously indicating more strength on DXY because it has not taken its previous daily low. And we also have some much larger high time frame SMC divergence from this low to this higher low, whereas we have this high to this higher high over here on EU. So possible future weakness being displayed by this for EU, right? We haven't mitigated the same POIs as we have on EU as well on DXY, so there are some draws on price still below here that DXY may continue going down towards. At the moment though, of course, there's the SMC divergence indicating strength. We'll see how much strength there's going to be. Okay, we do still have this buy side liquidity sweep up here, and then we made a lower low below these lows. So the 4 hour has made the same break of structure and switch on DXY. However, we have a lot more support and price may just continue bullish from there, but we'll see. Again, bearish momentum this morning. The 4 hour has shown signs of a bullish trend though on EU. We'll have to investigate this more on the lower time frame. So let's go down to the 1 hour time frame and see what that looks like. So on the hourly, the structure is a bit more clearer, right? We can see where we have these lows, high highs, high lows, high highs, high lows, into a high high. Then we made another higher low, right, overnight or into the afternoon, evening yesterday, and then eventually into a higher high, though we didn't close above this previous high here. If we look to the left, this is a 4 hour order block POI and also a 1 hour order block. Of course, so price has been held there. This is obviously a premium of our price leg and is showing its resistance, SMC divergence, we're breaking down. So if we zoom in, we still have that structure intact. Okay, so we have a bullish 1 hour structure. So if we use this low to this high up here, we have made our way back down to a premium. Now we have this imbalance which we have just filled. We've gone through it. We'll have to see how the candle closes. There's still 50 minutes left. Okay, but this was available here. We have an order block behind it, right, which swept sell side liquidity before we went and made that high. So we'll see how price closes out in this possible support area here. On DXY, we had the same high, lower low, lower high, lower low, pull back, lower high, but we failed to make that lower low here, which is where that SMC divergence has come in this morning, and we're seeing that strength on DXY. Now we've come and closed the same imbalance. Yes, there's an order block behind it as well, but essentially this may be a weak high. So I'm not sure how far we're going to go here on DXY, whether we're going to continue going bullish or we're just going to go for some buy side liquidity or maybe find some resistance here over the next hour or so and then target these lows, right? So we're stuck between that scenario of this being a weak high, but if we find resistance here then this turns to a weak low as well. We have some possible POIs here that maybe met as support, but price is showing a lot of bearish momentum at the moment. However, of course, if we just hold this area of support, then it looks like the trend will continue. So because of structure, I'm leaning towards a bullish EU, but also because of where we are in price, where we've taken buy side liquidity and we do have some momentum, and there's a lot of SMC divergences, and we made that high low here on DXY, there's a possibility we're going to head higher for this previous daily high buy side liquidity, and maybe this previous daily low or below these lows sell side liquidity. So there's no telling how far it will go. So could be cautious with EU today, right? Especially given that it's NFP. So I can see both ways. We'll have to see what the lower time frame structure looks like for any possible trading. So let's go down to the M15. Right, so on the M15 there's some obvious plays that could happen right now. We've left behind an obvious M15 order block here around the midnight New York daily open. We've broken down with momentum, right, break of structure around here. We had taken some internal buy side liquidity, broken down, leaving behind order block, nice fair value gap. We could set an order here, for example, right, for 7 pips, depends where you want to put your order. So on the lower time frame, this play looks quite obvious. Right, we have the negative of just filling this 1 hour imbalance here, and we're going into an M15 order block with imbalance itself as well. Right, we are in this sort of bullish trend on the 1 hour as well. However, DXY has made this a weak high. We look to be heading for buy side liquidity, so we may be heading low for sell side liquidity. This may not pull back. However, what we could look for to continue with that move is this, of course. Okay, so we get some possible inducement around this zone here. We've got our broker structure, clear order block on the M15, internal buy side liquidity here, swept right above that Frankfurt and London open, and then we break down, which we have done. This would be within the premium of this leg. Right, we may be heading for the sell side liquidity below these lows, but the main target I'd be looking at is the buy side liquidity above these highs and this previous daily high on DXY, because that's where we're most likely to then get a further pullback from. Okay, and possibly continue this trend. We may get some SMC divergence still if we take these highs and not take these lows, and then EU would look like it's ready to head higher. Now this is obviously just heading on its way. We may not get this trade, but I think that's the most obvious to continue with the momentum of this morning and this weak high scenario on DXY. So let's move on. So for our second pair, we've got GJ. We're here on the daily. The daily yesterday, massive bearish engulfing, right? We took out most of this internal trend line here, which I was waiting for a while now. So far today, we're bullish. Of course, we'll have left behind massive imbalances within here from all this bearish momentum. Price may be pulling back to some premium of that. Okay, so I think let's go down to the 4 hour and see what it looks like. So here on the 4 hour, after all these high highs, high lows, high highs, we've now broken down. We've broken down, say, below this low here very clearly. A lot of bearish momentum. We have this massive bearish engulfing candle here, which left behind an order block right after we closed this imbalance here, swept some internal buy side liquidity, very bearish breakdown, taking all this sell side liquidity. Now we'll be in a discount of this leg. You can see we're pulling back towards this order block here to fill this imbalance. So that's a very clear possible resistance zone to maybe continue to trend downwards. But for this morning, we may see longs toward this zone. So I think this looks very good. I think this looks very clear. Alright, so let's go down to the 1 hour. Let's see what this looks like. Again, the 1 hour leg providing even more clarity. We previously had rejected this zone, swept buy side liquidity, broke down lower low. That was that first early sign of a shift in structure for us to continue bearish. We pulled back again, filled the 4 hour imbalance, as we know, took that internal buy side liquidity above these highs, broke down again, very strong bearish leg. I think news contributed to that. So now we can concentrate on this leg. We're in a discount. Here's the premium. We have the premium price draw, which is just to fill this imbalance, maybe even this imbalance up here on the hourly and the 4 hour. Price is clearly making its way up towards there, right, correctively as well. So this may be that good zone to look for a shift in the structure on lower time frame again to go short. And for the time being, as I said, we could go long up towards this premium zone. So I think the structure is very clear here on the hourly as well. Everything looks good. We zoom out, we can see this is all very much sell side liquidity trend line. We've taken a lot of it. We may continue lower towards our previous weekly low, and if this is held as resistance, this becomes a weak low, so that is at least our minimum target. Let's go down to the M15, see what opportunities we have for this morning. So here on the M15 we have that clear bearish 1 hour leg, which is also our bearish M15 leg as well. Then internally on the M15 now we've made our high low, high high, high low. Now we've broken structure again to make a high high. Alright, it's all internal to this, so this is our pullback structure in my opinion. Okay, we have a massive M15 order block here, right, where we've now broken above it. Though personally I would probably just use, say, the last candle or maybe the last 2 candles, because that's where that imbalance starts, right? So just like on EU, we've left behind an M15 order block here and broken structure above here. So I do like this pair and what it looks like. We have this pullback phase, we have the order flow on side from Asia into London now. Alright, break of structure, momentum's coming to the market. We've left behind an order block here with imbalance, and we could possibly trade this now toward our premium target there. Stop loss just below the lows. Right, aiming for whatever you aim for. I'll be aiming for 3%. Okay, so we may get a corrective pullback now down to this zone to then continue going up, leaving some sort of inducement maybe just above our entry before we mitigate that to go long. So this is something I am interested in, right? I would like a more clearer liquidity sweep, say, of the Asia lows, but I think the order flows there, and this draw on price here is very obvious. So we may come quite deep into this zone up here. We'll see if price does pull back for any entry to go into here. So that's what I see this morning. I hope you gained value from that. I hope it was clear. Any questions, let me know in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.